Who really shapes the fate of nations? In the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia's push for sea access isn't just a local story, it's a tale of hidden influence. Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki claims Ethiopia's demands are not its own, but orchestrated by the United Arab Emirates, using Ethiopia as a proxy for its ambitions. This accusation reframes the crisis. It's not just about borders, but about a wealthy Gulf state manipulating regional powers for control over strategic waterways. The UAE, with its vast resources, is turning the Horn of Africa into a chessboard, moving pieces to serve its vision of dominance. Understanding this dynamic is key. The conflict is now a global issue, threatening the sovereignty of African nations and the stability of international trade. As we unravel this web of ambition and power, the stakes for the region and the world have never been higher. The UAE's interest in the Horn of Africa is strategic. The Bab al-Mandeb Strait is a vital artery for global trade, and whoever controls its ports controls the flow of goods between Europe, Asia, and Africa. For the UAE, this is about more than commerce. It's about building a maritime empire, a string of pearls of ports from the Persian Gulf to East Africa. By securing influence in places like Jeddah, Hodeidah, Asab, Djibouti, Berbera, and beyond, the UAE aims to dominate trade routes and outmaneuver rivals like Turkey and Qatar. This network would give Abu Dhabi leverage over regional politics, military movements, and economic futures. To achieve this, the UAE needs compliant partners willing to trade port access for investment and security. When deals and diplomacy fall short, the UAE turns to proxies. Enter Ethiopia, desperate for a way to the sea. Ethiopia's ambitions align perfectly with the UAE's grand design. Turning Ethiopia into a strategic proxy took more than words. It took billions. When Abiy Ahmed rose to power, the UAE injected $3 billion into Ethiopia's economy, stabilizing his government and deepening dependency. The support didn't stop at cash. The UAE supplied advanced weaponry and military training, tipping the balance in Ethiopia's favor during the Tigray War. This blend of financial and military aid made Ethiopia reliant on Abu Dhabi, giving the UAE unprecedented influence over its policies. Ethiopia's quest for sea access became the perfect cover for the UAE's regional ambitions. With Ethiopia as its proxy, the UAE could pressure neighbors and reshape the Horn's balance of power while staying in the shadows. The question remains, will this investment bring the UAE dominance or unleash chaos no one can control? The stakes are enormous for both nations. The UAE's focus on Ethiopia was born from necessity after setbacks in Sudan, Somalia, and Djibouti. Failed interventions and legal battles forced Abu Dhabi to rethink its approach. Ethiopia, with its size and military strength, became the ideal partner. Ethiopia's landlocked status made it vulnerable and eager for sea access, aligning its interests with the UAE's ambitions. By backing Ethiopia, the UAE could pressure resistant neighbors like Djibouti and Eritrea, using Ethiopia's demands as leverage. Ethiopia's power and dependency made it the perfect tool to achieve what the UAE couldn't do directly. The setbacks elsewhere only sharpened the UAE's strategy, making Ethiopia the linchpin of its covert campaign. The Horn of Africa became the stage for a new, more dangerous phase of regional competition. Ethiopia's desperation and the UAE's ambition proved a potent combination. Eritrea stands as the UAE's biggest obstacle, a fiercely independent nation, free of foreign debt and military bases. While the UAE once used Eritrea's Asab port for its Yemen campaign, Eritrea never surrendered control, resisting permanent foreign influence. This independence disrupts the UAE's vision of a seamless chain of ports along the Red Sea. Unable to buy or coerce Eritrea, the UAE allegedly shifted to destabilization, using Ethiopia's ambitions to pressure Eritrea from the outside. The threat of conflict and isolation is designed to force Eritrea to the negotiating table. President Isaias frames Eritrea as the target of a proxy campaign, its independence now a vulnerability. The UAE's plan uses Ethiopia's might to break Eritrea's resolve and complete its maritime network. The region's future hinges on Eritrea's resistance. President Isaias Afwerki's warning to Abiy Ahmed was personal and direct. Don't sacrifice the region's peace for foreign ambitions. He reminded Abiy that the real cost of this game would be paid by Ethiopians and Eritreans, not by distant powers in Abu Dhabi. Isaias warned that Eritrea would hold Abiy personally responsible for any aggression, highlighting Eritrea's readiness to defend its sovereignty. The message was clear. Betraying regional stability for short-term gain would be a historic mistake. Isaias sought to rally opposition to war, painting Abiy as a leader risking everything for a foreign agenda. The fragile peace, once celebrated, now hangs by a thread. The stakes are not just political, they are deeply human. The UAE's ultimate goal is a modern maritime empire, a string of pearls of ports and trade routes stretching from the Gulf to East Africa. By controlling key ports like Basra, Hodeidah, Jeddah, Djibouti, Asab, Berbera, and Dar es Salaam, the UAE aims to dominate the flow of global commerce. This network would give Abu Dhabi unmatched leverage over trade, security, and regional politics. Ethiopia's role is pivotal. Its need for sea access is the wedge the UAE uses to pressure holdouts like Eritrea and Djibouti. The recent Ethiopia-Somaliland deal, brokered with UAE support, is a clear example of this strategy in action. Each new port brings the UAE closer to its vision of a seamless corridor of influence. The Horn of Africa is now the centerpiece of this grand project. The string of pearls is no longer a theory, it's being built, one deal at a time. Today, the Horn of Africa teeters on the edge. Ethiopia and Eritrea are caught in a proxy conflict fueled by the UAE's ambitions. Eritrea faces immense pressure to surrender sovereignty or risk war. Ethiopia risks becoming a client state, its fate tied to a foreign power. A new conflict would devastate both nations, undoing years of fragile peace and progress. The entire region could be destabilized, drawing in neighbors and global powers, threatening trade and security. The UAE's strategy is a warning modern empires are built with money, weapons, and manipulation, not armies. The Horn's future now depends on the choices of a few leaders in Asmara, Addis Ababa, and Abu Dhabi. Will they choose peace or plunge millions into another cycle of violence? The world watches, hoping for dialogue, but bracing for the worst.